show is about the fans, for the fans.
As a youngster and as you get older, if you have the base and the fundamentals.
How's it going? It's down to Tatham here. Just finished up training now with
the upper back probably at the age of 3 and we're passing a rugby ball. About 12 seasons of Premier Club cricket.
It's been a fantastic season so far for us as the Dolphins. A really good season so far. We've got good momentum in this one-day competition.
Really performing well, bowlers, batters and fielders.
Doing the camp is really good. Guys are really focused.
Very good evening and welcome everybody to episode 5 of Leading Edge with me, your host, Nick Tatham. Today, we're bringing two men that were originally from the Western Cape. One's been here for 6 years. The other one has just arrived at the sunny shores of KZN. We've got Roger Telemachus and Keegan Petersen. We're going to introduce you to Keegan Petersen, the new arrival at Kingsmead, at Hollywood Bets Kingsmead Stadium. And what an acquisition he is. Keegan Petersen coming from the Knights. Keegan, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, thanks Nick. Thanks for having me.
So tell me, a month in Durban, how's it feeling? Have you acclimatized?
It's been nice. It's been quite chilled. Like, it's been at home just because of lockdown and everything. But it's a lot better than being in Bloem at this time of the year. It's freezing cold that side. We haven't had one cold day here yet.
I think KZN locals might disagree with you when it comes to cold, but I guess from Bloem you are excused. And then our other guest, a man who is no stranger to cricket supporters around the country, Roger Telemachus, the Hollywood Bets KZN Coastals coach. He's going to be joining me. Roger, thanks so much for joining us.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening to the viewers. Thanks for having me, Nick. Keegan mentioned cold. I'm in the cold here. You know, winters. But, as I heard from you earlier, it's very cold down in KZN at the moment.
Well, I think cold is all relative. I think it was about 17 degrees here today, and we thought that was fairly chilly. So we'll leave that up to you. Keith, we're going to start with you. As the new man on the block, the new man joining the Hollywood Bets Dolphins this season, can you just give our viewers a little bit of background, sort of your upbringing, where you're from originally, and your cricketing career so far? Just a quick sort of summary.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I started. Let me go to the very beginning. I'm from Paarl. I'm born and bred all in Paarl, in the Boland. Went to school there, went to New Orleans Secondary, and played all my cricket there and started my professional career over that side. I started playing for Boland, my semi-professional cricket, and later on ended up playing for the Cobras and moved on from Cape Town after about 2-3 years of playing for the Cobras and ended up in Bloemfontein, and 4 years later I'm here.
So I guess we could ask the question, why the Dolphins? Was that just a logical step in your career?
Yeah, it was a difficult decision to make. I've obviously grown fond of Bloemfontein. It's basically become like a second home to me, but I think it was time to move on and maybe take on a different step in my career, a different challenge. Durban on its own was with its conditions, and I thought it was something that I could take on and maybe expand my horizon, expand my career and different aspects of my game.
What do you think the biggest challenges are going to be for you now that you've moved to Durban?
To be honest, I don't know. Obviously, it's slower conditions than most of the country, and what I've grown used to and accustomed to in Bloem and in the central region. But that's the main reason why I came, or basically the main reason to take on these conditions and then grow used to it, because I feel it's where most of the world's cricket is moving towards, playing spin and the slower conditions and all that. So I might as well just fall into the trend.
Okay. Just a reminder, guys who are watching, that you can post your questions to either Keegan or Roger. Just put them in the comment section below the video, and we'll get through as many of them as we possibly can. We're going to move to you, Roger, now, all the way down in the Cape. You've been with the KZN Coastal for a number of years now in the coaching capacity. How have you enjoyed it? So has it challenged you a lot?
Yeah, I mean, as a ex cricketer, you always want to give back into cricket, and I think coaching was the right way for me to stay into cricket. I really wanted to be a cricket coach. I not really want to do something else. So yeah, for the last 6 years, it's been a challenge. I took over from someone or inherited a team that was very young. And 6 years later, we won 2 trophies. Yeah, it is a challenge. You get accustomed to players that come from home, and you have to play mom and dad or girlfriend and all these things. So it is a bit of a challenge. But I'm enjoying it. Uh, enjoy what I'm doing. I like to be out there, and I like to, and I think it's a passion of mine.
Well, you say ex-cricketer, but you're not actually an ex-cricketer. You've just been in India at the beginning of the year with the legend side. Talk us through getting back out on the park.
Yeah, it was an opportunity from. I mean, it's called the Road Safety Fund that Sachin Tendulkar set up to get ex-internationals together to just to help with road safety in India. And if you haven't been to India, it's if you haven't been on India's roads, it's a bit of a shambles. So it's a lot of accidents, a lot of potholes, a lot of as I said, accidents. So we tried to, or he tried to. Get us some money and get all the ex-internationals together to play a little bit of a tournament in India. And look, it was for the 10 days that I was there, we were there, it was exciting.
Sorry, I'm back now. Just talk me through how the body felt. I know that you said that you got injured in the build-up, bit of a hamstring injury. So tell me how the body
Yeah,
felt after bowling overs.
well, the guys who went, we're not 23 years old. I mean, the guys are looking at the 5-0 side of things. And just we got a bit of a run around, and mean, most of the guys got injured because, we're not accustomed to what we used to do 20 or 10 years ago. So, yeah, the body wasn't that great after a few games, but look, I pulled the hammy in the first week, bowling in the net. So that's part of it's part of the age, I think.
Keegan, I'm going to pull you in here. I know that last season, I know you've spoken openly about it, that it was a little bit disappointing, despite the call up to the Proteas side from a personal perspective. Did you feel that there was that extra pressure on you when you got that call up to the Proteas squad?
A little bit, but I think it is almost pressure that you put on yourself. It's you come into an environment and there's a high standard, and then you see how guys go about doing things, and you almost expect of yourself to be at a certain standard as well. And that's the sort of pressure that you put on yourself, and it becomes difficult to deal with it if you're not scoring the runs, if you're not putting out the numbers. So yeah, it was tough to deal with.
Did you learn a lot in that period you were with the Proteas?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you're around one of the best cricketers in the world, and a few of the better minds in coaching, and guys that have been around the block for South Africa. And it's definitely something that I guess I was lucky to be part of. Even though I didn't play, but it was good to be part of in a professional environment like that.
Let's bring it back to the Dolphins. Just looking at the squad that we've assembled for the season, are there a lot of guys that you're familiar with that you've sort of played in with academy sides and SAA sides?
I basically played with could say almost all of them for a number of years or against them. Because I've been involved in first class cricket for almost say 9 years now already. And the guys I'm not familiar with is probably the guys that just came into the younger guys are from the Dolphins. All I know quite well.
And then just talk me through your sort of SAA and National Academy stints. How important were those in sort of getting you to the place you are now?
National Academy was difficult, I must say. It's it was 4 months in Pretoria and Shukri Conrad. It's a bit of a challenge you mentally and all that. SAA, I just played the one game. I luckily I did well in that game, and that's what got me the call up. But I was on the tour to India, and I didn't play there either. So that's only the one game that I can say I was part of.
There we go. Got a question coming from Carl Westman. Who are you most excited to play with at the Dolphins?
I don't know. I'm a very jokey person, so whoever attracts me in that sense, I'll probably find out who it is in the near future.
I'll sort of elaborate on that question. Who was the most difficult player you played against from the Dolphins? That you're happy that's going to be on your side now?
Rob Freiling got me out every game, so I'm just lucky not playing against him anymore.
Fair enough. Roger, I was just looking at your stats a little bit earlier. 37 ODIs, best of 4 for 43, average of 27, economy rate of 4. Those are some really good numbers. Were you disappointed you didn't play more than 37 games?
Yeah, I'm very disappointed in that. I think just to come back to the stats, I've never been a stats guy. I was the first time. What I hear now, it's the first time. I haven't been a stats. Even with coaching now, I don't look at stats. If you're good enough or you excite me as a cricketer, you play for my team. And I think, and just to answer the last part of your question, there is, I'm a bit disappointed. I could have played more for various reasons, but that's in the past. I'm happy to play. I am happy to play, to be involved with the Proteas in the past. It's any youngster's dream to play for your country. So, yeah, I mean, if you ask me, would you take 37 one internationals and 2 T20s? I would say yes.
And a position in the 4-3-8 game.
Excuse me?
And a place in the 4-3-8 game. That must be the highlight.
Yeah, that is definitely on top of the list. That is my World Cup in my sense, if you know what I mean.
Just talk me through the emotion of that sort of game, coming into the change room after bowling, and then watching the innings unfold, having to bat towards the back end for you. That must have been an emotional roller coaster.
It was an emotional roller coaster because we were down and out after the first innings, and I don't know the story that Jock Callis mentioned there that they were about 30 runs too short after 434. It was, as you mentioned, a roller coaster ride. But I think if you have to ask me, who stood out in that game, I can't tell you. Everybody contributed at the end of the day in that brilliant game on about more than 2006, I think. So it was a freak day. It was an interesting day. So Makaya and Tini's one down to third man there, unbelievable. Andrew Hall took a brilliant catch of my bowling to get rid of Adam Gilchrist. My big mate went out before playing under, massive pressure there. Herschel Gibbs, Ponting played a vital role. I mean, everybody contributed, but, for us to win that game was unbelievable. Just to the way we started to think about 2020 cricket after, a certain period of that game. And for Boucher to pull it through for us, unbelievable.
Keegan, I'm going to come to you and just chat about all formats of the game. that must be an ambition for you. I'd assume that you want to play one-day cricket for South Africa, you want to play Test match cricket for South Africa. T20 cricket, is that also part of the plan?
No, most definitely. I think everyone can say if they can play all formats for South Africa, it's a dream for any kid. So yes, that is the end goal to represent our country in whichever form. Like I told you a while ago, the focus for me at the moment is Test cricket and trying to break into that side and eventually or hopefully get some sort of permanent spot there for a while. That is the goal at the moment, and if I do well enough and it comes to one-day cricket and T20 cricket, then by all means, yes. If that answers your question.
Yeah, and then have you been able to earmark areas of your game that you're really going to be pushing hard to work on now to make that step up to the international level?
Yes, it's what I've identified is not this. It's not very much in the technical or in the batting or bowling or fielding department. It's more physical in the fitness front and getting stronger for me to access a different part of batting to be able to clear the rope at will or something like that.
I guess you've got a good guy in Gavin Muir. Have you had a couple of meetings with Gavin?
Yeah, I can't say that I enjoy it, but yeah.
And then you're in Westville. How's it been settling in the month? I know obviously there's not a lot you can do when you're in lockdown, so it's sort of from training back home. But how are you enjoying life down here?
Nah, it's quite chilled. I can't say that there's much that we have done. Like you said, we are just at home all the time, so I haven't really seen much of Durban. I've been to the beach a couple of times just for a run or whatever it is. I'm just glad that I've got a beach now instead of Bloemfontein.
And then, Roger, so for you, you've ended your playing career and then coaching was the next option. So talk me through how your coaching career panned out.
Well, look here, and when I finished my career, in fact, not finished my career. Just before I finished my career in Bloemfontein, it was still the Eagles, and Oma Hendry phoned me up and asked me, "Listen, are you interested? Because you're playing, they're looking for a coach who can still play with the students, because he's going to retire." And I said, "Listen, I'm interested. Take me up." And I eventually kicked off at the University of Stellenbosch, where I was still playing, but still playing for the Cobras in my last 2 seasons, 2020 cricket. So I was in between Cape Town and Stellenbosch, and Sukri Conrad was the coach of the Cobras, and I remember that we won that competition that 1 year, and eventually went to India to go play in the the tournaments just before the IPL. I think Champs of Champs.
Yeah.
All the franchises of all cricketing countries playing in that thing. So that is where it started, and after the University of Stellenbosch, Boland Cricket asked me to come and run the academy for them, be the coach of the academy. And I literally was probably 3 months into the job, and my former boss, Jay Naidu, called me up and said, "Listen, here, we got a position here. Are you interested?" And I took the opportunity with both hands, and I'm still there. And I made a lot of good cricketers around that province. I made a lot of good coaches around that province, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing there. It feels like home for me. It's a bit tough commuting up and down from Cape. Not Bloemfontein, excuse me, KZN. And obviously my family is still down in Cape Town here with my kids, and that is the life I'm living. So as I said, this is my passion. My wife allows me to do this. So maybe one day, we're not so sure about the future of CSA cricket. So maybe one day I can be there for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my next question. obviously the ambitions there. Is it sort of, if you get a gig anywhere in the country at a franchise level, for example, you'll take it?
Now, of course, everybody wants to be a franchise coach. There's only 6 franchises. It's tough to get in. Obviously, if there's opportunity wherever in the country, is there, I will take it. Whether it's overseas, I'll take it. I mean, this is my job. This is my bread and butter. This is my passion. I just want to make a difference in any cricketer's life. That is what I can give back to cricket in while I'm still around. And yeah, of course, Nick, to answer your question.
Keegan, we're talking coaches. I'm sure that you've had a number of coaches throughout your career. Is there any one coach that has sort of really imprinted something on you from a playing perspective or from a perspective off the field?
See, I can't honestly pinpoint one. Like I mentioned Shukri Conrad earlier. He was tough when I was National Academy, but I feel that it's maybe what I needed at that stage of my career. That taught me a lot about myself, but I've always just gone back to my dad. He knew my game actually better than I could know my own. Believe it or not, I was actually in an academy side of coached at Poland.
Okay. No,
I was waiting for him to say that.
Okay. Now we're going to put him on the spot here. How good a coach is Roger Telemachus?
He knows his story. Is also he can be hard on you, and I feel that at times it's what's needed.
Roger, are you quite a laid back kind of coach though? I know Keegan just says that you can be hard. Do you take a more laid back approach to coaching, or how do you approach it?
I think now I'm a bit laid back, but when I started, it's all about try to take bits and pieces of all the coaches I worked with, and try to be myself. You know what I mean? Yes, I used to be in your face type of guy when I started, but now I'm very much relaxed, because when you relax, I think, and this is only my opinion, people respond to you, and when you harden people, and a perfect example, a guy like who coached me, Corey van Zyl, who was in my face all the time, and he got the best out of me. And for a guy who's a bit laid back, hey, leave me alone, I'll do it for you. I mean, it got the best out of me. So it varies. I definitely changed as a coach. I'm more laid back now. I try to do what is important for the player, what the player needs, and try to understand what the player wants in life, and just not on the cricket field, but outside the cricket field as well.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot here. You did tell me that you got a funny story, and I want you to give us this funny story. This could be make or break for the episode. So it's over to Roger Telemachus now. He's got a story to tell us.
So when I made my debut for Boland in 93-94 season, and I remember the first game that we played was against Free State, but this is not the start of the story. But the second game, actually, 2 weeks after that, we were playing Transvaal, but now Gauteng, and I was bowling to DJ Cullinan, who was my hero. I just think that he was unbelievable batsman. So I bowled a short ball, and I don't know if you've been. Keegan would know Paul Cricket Club, and we played our first class cricket in Paul Cricket Club. They were still busy bowling Boland Park. So we played my second first class game against Transvaal back in the day. So DJ Cullinan, I bowled to DJ Cullinan. I bowled him a short ball, and he hooked me. There's some big trees on the one side, and Keegan will notice on one side of the field. But behind the trees is all these vendors with the burgers and fish and chips and all these things. So he hooked me one bounce into one of those things there, into the fish and chips. These big trays where they cook in the thing. So they had to remove the ball out of that thing, and we had to wait another very 10 minutes before they changed the ball. But that is my story. I think it was quite fun.
Thank you, Roger. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and all the best. Stay warm, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks. Cheers,
Thanks.
guys.
Yeah.
As we do on Leading Edge, we finish with a Hollywood Bets Kingsmead Stadium magic moment, and today it's White Lightning against Sachin Tendulkar. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you again next week. Cheers. Goodbye.
And this, I think, is a pretty sensible move by the captain, Hansi Cronje. Get your best bowler, main strike bowler, one of the best in the world, back before the luncheon interval to try and break this partnership. He's immediately driven through the covers quite beautifully, though, by Tendulkar, and that will be 4 runs. It beat Hansi Cronje diving to his left. Donald over pitching.
Just for a change, Alan Donald trying to pitch the ball up. It could also be the fact that it's a fresh spell for him, so a bit of a loosener there. But Tendulkar quick to seize on that, driving it on the up.
Yes, this is the partnership that South Africa will desperately want to break or not allow to develop. McDonald is over pitching, and he's giving Tendulkar a bit of width, so he goes for 2 boundaries in a row. Beautifully played by the little man.
His confidence is growing. That drive past the bowler of Macmillan, and then the cover drive, and now this slash come square drive for a boundary will have done wonders to Sachin Tendulkar's confidence.
He bowled him! That's what Donald wanted, and he goes on a celebratory run. He has uprooted Tendulkar's off stump, just what his captain wanted him to do before lunch. Having been hammered for 2 delightful 4s, he comes right back with this express.
Well, cricket is a great leveler. 2 boundaries of the previous deliveries, real cracking shots as well, and then getting that in-swinger to go between bat and pad to get the prized wicket of the Indian captain Sachin Tendulkar of 15, India 52 for 4.